Hello guys, welcome to episode 92 of Gottne Till I Die, the FM20 save that has continued on into FM21. We're just having half-season updates, or sort of semi-half-season updates to the save now, rather than any formal gameplay, but formal gameplay, what the hell's that about? But anyway, we are at the end here of the 2035 season. It's been a long old season. The 30 games we've played in the league went pretty well. As you can see, we finished fourth, but not that far behind the teams above us. Almost caught up Malmo, and there was a period of this where we looked like we might be able to just maybe sneak in there and maybe challenge, but it didn't quite work out. We just lost at the wrong times. We've also done well in Europe, and we will review all of these things, as well as players who are leaving or have already left now, who are legends of the save. We'll look at finances. You can see on the right there they are looking very, very good, and kind of where we are in terms of development of the club. We'll also think about the youth development and how that's going, or not going as the case may be. Lots to get in this episode. So let's have a look at the results in recent times. Right, so we're going to start with the Swedish Cup because it's the most uninteresting. As you can see in this Swedish Cup game, we got through very, very comfortably away at Winsberg's 4-0 win, Kanstrup, Forsblom and Grunberg. We have drawn our group for the Swedish Cup group stages at the start of next year. It's a toughie. It is a real toughie. And you can see it here. We've got Brage, who, that's not too hard. Eskil's Tuna, you'd expect to get the points out of there, but away against Goteburg is going to be very, very tough. So we'll see how that goes, but it may be that we don't manage to qualify from the groups, which is not the end of the world, but, I kind of like to do that. Let's have a look at the Euro Cup 2, because as I say, we did qualify for the Euro Cup 2, due to our 5th position last season, and AIK winning the cup allowed us to do that, and we drew Spartak somebody or other in this first round. They were not, where are they from? Spartak, yeah, Subotica, who are a Serbian side. It was a fairly comfortable, easy start here. 3-0 in the first leg. Diop, Brnovic and Ulekan, and on the return leg, Kanstrup, Wennerstrom and Krebs with a goal. So lots of different scorers, but it was a comfortable victory. Then we played Akhmat, who are a Russian. That was it, a Russian side. So it's not an easy one. This a 0-0 away result, which wasn't a bad thing because Abdi, our central defender, was sent off. So this meant it was impressive to get that in the first leg, and we won 2-1 in the second leg. 2 goals from Kanstrup. And as you can see, we were very, very close to being knocked out because we were scored and then they got a penalty, and it was the 86th minute when Kanstrup scored again. Otherwise, we'd have been out on away goals. So that was pretty good. Then we played Nitra, who again, I have no idea where they're from. Slovakia, very comfortable first leg match, 3-0, goals from Kanstrup, Krebs and Brnovic. And then we had one of these games where we played better than they did, but they put the ball in the back of the net. Kanstrup and Brnovic with the goals, but they won 3-2 in the end. So our Group F looked like this. We had Slovan Bratislava, Zenit, St. Petersburg and Vardar from North Macedonia, which is one of those teams is fairly straightforward. And we started with what I thought was going to be an easier game against Slovan Bratislava, and we ended up losing this 3-2. It was pretty disappointing. We kept getting back into the game. It was 2-2 with goals from Diop and Kanstrup, but they scored, and again we couldn't get back into it. We did have chances, lots and lots of chances, but the game against Bratislava was very similar to the game against Nitra, not just in scoreline, but also in that I felt we probably deserved it and just didn't quite get the ball in the back of the net. Kanstrup was being particularly well, wasteful with the chances he was getting. But then after that, it was a plain sailing. A home win against Zenit. Diop won Kanstrup with 2. And then against Vardar, very, very easy. Henningsen got a couple in this first game, Bernovic with a second. The away game, Kanstrup, Diop and Svensson with the goals. And then home against Bratislava, we had left it very, very late. A lovely header from Henningsen at the far post to put us 1-0 up, and that guaranteed us qualification. And this guaranteed us the group win, 4-3 win over Zenit and St. Petersburg. Kanstrup hat-trick and Diop getting the goals. You can see they got back into it. The real story here is that because of loan players leaving, yes, they have finally left. Our intrepid 3 loan players, Bushi, Baba and Jonsson, they have moved back to their clubs, and it was just at this point here, so these last 2 games, but this one here, we had almost nobody you would recognise on the bench. So let's just have a look at that, because the bench is just mad here. Look at this. So you don't recognise him. Daniel in goal, 4.5 grey star player, youth teamer. He's probably our best player in the youth team, unfortunately. We also had Engblom, another youth team player. Ackerland, another youth team player. Johansson, another youth team player. The only players in here was Muller, Nielsen and Krebs, who were first team players. We had nobody else we could call on because of players leaving, and also because the players had left. Some of those were registered for Euro Cup action, and we had other players who were staying who weren't registered, so that wasn't great. Anyway, but we got through it. We won 4-3. It was nice to see some of the youngsters getting on the pitch as well. As you can see, Ackerland and Johansson did manage to get some game time, and I think in the other cup game, in the domestic cup, another youngster got on the pitch. None of them are any good, but we did what we had to do, really. So anyway, we are through into the second, because we won the group. We go into the second round of the knockout phases, and we'll see how we get on there in the next update video. So let's have a look then at what happened in the league. So obviously it didn't all quite go to plan after this 3-2 win over Helsingborg, which is where we left you. We put some friendlies in the mid-season gap, and then we had a tough away game against AIK. As you can see, it wasn't too terrible. We lost 2-1. Kanstrup getting the goal. We did go down 2-0 very, very early on. I changed the tactic a little bit. I pushed the line a little bit higher up. I felt all of our possession, we were still getting lots of possession against AIK, but it was all too far back, so I was trying to push that possession a little bit further on, and we did create a few more chances like that. It does open us up to the counter-attack a little bit more, but that's the way we've been playing since that game. So then we played Hammarby, won 3-0, comfortable game. Kanstrup with 2, Camp with a third, and we were, we were easy winners. Then home against Goteburg, this was disappointing, very, very disappointing. They were top of the league at the time. They had a player sent off after 12 minutes. I thought, right, this is it. This is our chance. We were playing really well at the start, creating chances, pushing them back, but they managed to score some goals, and actually they then took control of the game, and it took us a while to get back into it. Kanstrup did score later on, but it was poor, really poor performance from the boys there, and what was a real opportunity to beat one of the top 2. Then we beat Dejavors. I think they've gone down 1-0. Abdi with a goal. Abdi, the centre-back, he did get a lot of games, actually. He's played okay. He was a good signing. Next up, a away win against Brage. Pleased with that. Ufala. It's because I'm not actually saying his name. Ulekanen. I can't say it. He has been forced to play because Muller got injured. A big, serious injury. He's been out for most of the second half of the season. So he had to play, and he didn't play well at the start of the season, but he has played very well since he's been forced to be involved. Anyway, he got a goal there. Kanstrup with a couple, Jonsson with a goal as well. It was a rarity for him. Jönköping Sudra, a 1-0 win here. Krebs with an early goal. Krebs he's just a little bit old now, unfortunately. Sirius, a couple of goals for Bernovic and Jonsson, 2-1 win there. Late goal from Jonsson to give us the win. It was all looking good. Then we beat Malmo. This was pleasing. Forsblom with a late goal, 85th minute. Team with the long name, we put them down early. Svensson and Ulakan with the goals. Pleased with that. Then we had a little bit of a break, but came back with an away game against Häcken. They had a player sent off. And unfortunately they were better than us in this game. Camp got a goal for us late on, but we didn't manage to pick up the victory or anything from this, which was disappointing because this is the sort of game we don't want to be losing. And it was about this period where we were looking to kind of catch up the likes of AIK and Goteburg at the top of the league. We then went away to Kalmar and we made up for the poor performance against Häcken, goals from Forsblom and Kanstrup. And then the home game against Elfsborg, it was a 3-0 comfortable victory. Kanstrup and Tinnerholm with the goals. Good to see Tinnerholm back on the score sheet. Went away to Norrköping, who had a poor season this year. And we managed to get a fairly dull 0-0 draw with them. We had a chance really late on. Kanstrup cleaned through, and he didn't finish it off. He's been missing a lot of those, even though he scored a lot of goals. The one-on-ones, which he was getting a lot of early in his career with us, he's missing a few too many now, which is a bit disappointing. So form coming into this, a game against AIK, who were on a bit of a poor run, and we were not that many points behind them. I think if we won this game against AIK, I think we'd have gone above them at this point. But we did not turn up. We did not turn up at all. They absolutely battered us start to finish in this game, and it was not the team that had been playing in the previous games. It was just a very, very lacklustre performance from everyone, really. As you can see, there isn't no Kanstrup was playing, but there's no one really standing out there. Nordgren had a great game, but that pretty much tells you the story. They won 3-0 and they deserved to win 3-0. Djurgårdens 0-0 away at them. That's a pretty good result. Pretty happy with that. They were flying high, and that guaranteed us, I think, at that point that we would be above Djurgårdens, or at least made it very hard for them to catch us up. Away against Hammarby, this was a disappointing draw. We did play well, we created chances, we just didn't score the goals, and it was looking a bit dodgy at this point until we played Helsingborg and we beat them 3-0. Goals from Muller and Kanstrup. Nice to see Muller back, and Muller back with scoring goals. His attributes look like they've dropped off a little bit since the injury, which is ever likely. And then we have finished off with an away game against top of the table, second in the table, Goteburg. They dropped down below AIK, and you can see it was a game and a half. This was, we were 2-1 up, goals from Kanstrup and Henningsen, looking good, playing well, and then they just turned it on at the end. Couple of chances, couple of goals. I felt hard done by, I really did. We played well here, but we didn't get the win. And what that did with the table, as you can see, we finished fourth, guaranteed European Cup 2, so that's good. We'll probably end up getting the one above that, so we'll be able to enter a little bit later, depending on the cup, whoever wins the cup. AIK won the league. It was a tight one this year, and they got the title back over Goteburg, so that's good for AIK. Malmo in third. And you can see a really poor year for Norrköping. Struggled all season, and I imagine their manager got fired, I'm not sure. And out of the league go Deja for Brage and Helsingborg. Coming the other way, we have Sundsvall, Falkensberg and Örebro. So teams that we played against. Good to go up against Örebro again. Good to see them getting promoted. So right then, so that's where we got to. Let's have a look at the squad itself. As you can see, Kanstrup, top scorer, easily 30 goals. If we lose him, that's going to be bad. Diop, a reasonable season. I think we can get more out of him. Bernovic and Henningsen doing well on that right side, sharing that position. Forsblom doing well on the left. Krebs, poor season for him. He is getting on a bit. as you can see. He's 32 years old, attributes are dropping, and he was certainly not getting all that many games. Chance creation or assists wise, Bernovic, Forsblom on 9 on that right side. Kanstrup was up there, he was leading that for a long time, so he's had a really good year. Again, chance creation, Ula Lakan. He is a good player. I think it's absolutely clear he's done really well. Kanstrup obviously has played lots of player of the matches. Tackling, well, I don't know what that means. 45 tackles in a game. I think that's unlikely. We'll ignore that. And you can see here the top average ratings. Kanstrup leads the way. Olalekan, that's right. Olalekan in second there, and Bernovic in third. But it's good to see so many players in the green there. So a decent performance, I think, from lots of players. I think it's been a good year, a really, really good year. So I just want to make a note of a couple of people who have left, unfortunately. One player here, you can see Benediktsson, our goalkeeper. You probably didn't notice he wasn't there. He is still, I think he's still a very good goalkeeper, but Norgren has played, he's made that position his own, and I think it's unfair 33 to stand in his way. So he has gone on loan to Helsingborg for the whole season, and so that's going to be good for him. Hopefully he'll get some games, and then we'll release him that year, so he might move to Helsingborg for the end of his career. So good luck, Benediktsson. He has been a superstar for us, but he's not the only ones to have moved, unfortunately. A couple of people who mean a lot to the people of this club. So you can see Andreas Kamp, he has gone. He's still a decent player, I think. I was trying to sign him for a single-year contract. He wasn't interested. As you can see, 175 appearances for Gottne, 38 goals, a lot of them very, very important. What a man this guy has been. What an absolute superstar he has been over the years. You can see his stats. He's kind of dropped over time. He had this very, very good period sort of 4 or 5 years ago where he was doing absolute bits for us, but in recent times, since Forsblom's got here, actually he's struggled to break into the side quite as much, not scoring as many goals, and he's not such a key player for us. But I mean, he's been here, what was it, 9 years? Great stuff for Kamp. He's done well. Another player who's been a really important man in the squad is Anton Nielsen, the right back, and you can see here an absolute wonderful player. Been here 7 years. Again, a couple of years ago he was the absolute key right back. He seemed, no matter what his stats said, he was doing much better than anyone else who was there. But this year he's kind of struggled a little bit more, struggled to get game time. We had a few other options there, and unfortunately, as you can see, he hasn't started that many games, and he didn't want to stick around as a backup. So fair enough. I can't say anything about that. Jimmy Grinning, he probably had his best year, if I'm being honest. He's been here for 4 seasons and he's hardly done anything. He's a disappointment given what his attributes look like. Some really good mental and physical attributes, but we were unable to make the most of him. And he's 28 years old, and I think we need to make the most of the other players that we've got, really. So he has moved on. And the last one, and probably very unsurprising, is Bjorndal. Just weren't able to work him out. We bought him in on a bit of a hope, really, that he could score some goals because he had some reasonable finishing attributes, and we were in need of someone who could finish. At that time, he did what we needed to do in that period. He scored the only goals he scored for us, I think, in maybe his first 2 or 3 games, and then it kind of went downhill after that, and he's been sitting in the reserves basically the whole of this season, so that's not great for him. Looks like Felix Bowman has retired out of the game. Loveford, he's not. He's at GAIS, which is good to see. So he had a good season last year. That is really good to see. So he's only 1 division below. so maybe we'll see him against us at some point. Right then, so that's the how the team has played. Let's have a little look at some other things that have been going on. So, development centre, we have had a youth intake, and it still looks pretty abysmal. I think the best player that we had in was possibly this guy. I think it was this guy who's 16-year-old, but this is what we're dealing with. He's not great, is he? Really not great. So I don't know why that is, but unfortunately it's not going well in terms of getting players in. Obviously, as I said, or I don't think I said, coaching staff, I have changed our youth development coach, who is this lad who's got a balanced personality. I understand that's quite important in getting the personality right. I've been listening to other creators. He's got good judging player potential ability and potential. So those are important, and he's also good at working with youngsters. So I think he should do reasonably well, and hopefully, I'm not sure if he makes a difference in terms of recruitment, but in terms of the players who we get access to, but certainly he's quite good. As you can see, our coaching staff is the best in the league, our recruitment staff is the best in the league, and our medical staff is the best in the league, which is nice to see. One little note that you may have seen on Twitter, looking at the recruitment staff down here, we have signed up, and he's no good, he's terrible, he's absolutely terrible, but it is the Gottne legend, Mirza Hasanbegovic, who played so many seasons right at the start of this save with us, scored lots and lots of goals as we climbed into the Premier League. He was the key to that, the absolute key to that. So he's back. I couldn't say no. I noticed he didn't have a club. I noticed he was a scout. I noticed he was terrible, but I also wanted to have him alongside me because it's nice, isn't it? Nice to bring through some of the legends of the save. Right then, in terms of what is going on in the background of the club, so we have got an affiliate now. I thought that might be important to develop some of the younger players that we've got coming through, so I'll show you that club in a second. We have also, and I can't remember if I told you this last time or not, we have improved our training facilities and youth facilities, and they will be finished fairly shortly in December. In the case of the training facilities, the youth facilities will be a little bit later in February. But we've also got, and this will be sorted out at the end of this. Well, it should already be sorted out. Oh no, it'll be sorted out in February as well. But we are looking to buy the stadium. So currently, the stadium is on. Currently, we don't own the stadium. But we are renting it, so if we buy it, then we don't have to pay that rent back. And hopefully, and I don't know if this is true, if you buy the stadium, then you can upgrade it and we can expand it, which I think will be a useful thing to do. As you can see, training facilities currently adequate. I think this will go up to average. I think the below average youth facilities will go up to adequate from here. And recruitment, we've got fairly basic youth recruitment. I'm waiting until I can try and ask them to improve that again, which is a problem. We're trying to upgrade as quickly as we can, but it's not that easy. Let's have a look at Gottne Stadium. As you can see, we are playing. It's just the reserves, the under 19s who are playing here. Yeah, I think we are able to play Euro Cup 2 up until the fourth qualifying round, and then I think we have to. I think we've been moving to another ground, but the capacity is 4,775, and I think this year we've had quite. Let's just have a look at it. I think we've been quite close to that capacity on many occasions. So see if I can get the average attendance for this. well, that makes no sense. 4,921 is our average attendance, which is over the the capacity of the ground, which is interesting. I guess that takes into account where we've gone in the Euro Cup away from the ground, so that's pretty good. I think in these ones here, the group stage, yeah, so we were 4,940 or 7,000 there, but we are maybe not filling the ground, but we're not far away. 4,000. We had the full. We are getting good attendances anyway. Finance wise, you can see here currently we've got over 8 million in the bank. I mean, it looks awesome. You know, it wasn't so long ago where every year we were struggling to keep our head above water, but now we are definitely improving this club, and we are, you know, improving it across the board, which is quite exciting. So that's kind of where we are at the minute, and we will be looking to bring in some additional faces for next year. Canstrup, he is already here for next year. We've managed to sign him on for loan again. He's going to be important. You can see how good this man is getting. You look at these things, his attributes are improving across the board. The important ones are absolutely fantastic, and to have a player like this in this squad and be able to have him fairly cheaply for 4 years without anyone sort of saying no, actually we might want it, is awesome. So we've got him here again. Lundvigsen is going to be here next season. We had a 2-year loan deal for him, so he hasn't played that much, but he will be our main right back, I think, next year. We'll need to bring in another right back on that note. We'll also need to bring someone in on the left side, as Camp has gone, who's someone who's a little bit better than Forsblom. Okay, so that is where we are. So we'll come back halfway through next season. I might go a little bit further into the season because it's never quite halfway, that break, and we will see how we have started. Hopefully we'll be able to bring some decent players into the team. Hopefully we'll be able to push on a little bit more and improve on the 4th place. I think we're still quite a bit behind the likes of AIK and Goteburg, but I think we're probably top of the next, or at least in that group just behind them. I think we just need a few more years of just improving the club to really start to push on and really challenge for the league title. I'm really enjoying this save still. It's a lot of fun to continue playing this, even with FM21 out. So that's why I'm continuing, and it's great that there's 1 or 2 people who are enjoying it themselves and tuning in to hear the story of how things have gone on. Let me know down below how you thought this season went, whether you thought this is underperforming or overperforming, or whether we're kind of improving as we should do. Let me know also where I should be improving, what I should be trying to do, what I should be focusing on to really make this team a little bit better and get us up to the next level. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Anyway, guys, I will leave it there. If you have enjoyed this, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you are new, and I will see you next time for the mid-season episode in the 2036 season. See you then. Goodbye.